Kip up.
Last night, got a little bit of indication of how Stephanie was going to get booked because they were watching her freaking tape. I don't know if you watched NXT, but last night, 3 babyfaces were watching Stephanie's tape. Sol Ruka, Carmen, Miss Vice was watching. All 3 of them were watching her tape. So we can see clearly here, Stephanie's coming first. That's obvious, right? She's already here. She's ready to go. She's not traveling from Japan, right? She's coming first, and she will arrive on the scene first. She's being talked about here about these 3 babyfaces. Last week, it was not only Roxanne, but also Lonnie Jordan talking about Stephanie. I believe, because there's been some speculation amongst fans that Stephanie might come first and therefore she will challenge Roxanne first. I don't believe that. I believe Stephanie is going to come in and she's going to go after the North American title, if not just attack the women's division as a whole. I think they're saving Roxanne for Julia, which was the original plan. It was always supposed to be Julia against Roxanne Perez. That's not changing, I don't think. Julia will come in as the babyface and she will challenge Roxanne. I believe Stephanie Vaquer will probably come in as more of a heel or a tweener. She'll go after the entire women's division, and ultimately she might challenge Lonnie Jordan for her title. I really like how they're setting this up. They're making her a big deal. Back-to-back weeks, they said her name. Roxanne said it, Lonnie Jordan said it, and now these 3 women are watching her tape, talking about how good she is. So they're really doing a good job hyping her up. So when she comes up at the Great American Bash, potentially, on night 1 or night 2, maybe night 2, it's going to be a big deal for the company, and the audience has been conditioned to believe, oh, she's strong, she's talented, and she's a force to be reckoned with. If you listen to what Roxanne Perez said in her promo, I think it's very telling if you're paying attention. She actually said, when she was mocking the fans, when she was mocking what they were saying online, she said, what the fans were saying was that she had to worry about Julia. That when Julia shows up, I'm going to be in trouble. And then she said, Stephanie Vaquer is going to show up and she's going to be a problem for the women's division. So Julia was specific to her. She made sure, like, she's not freestyling out there. The promo was, when Julia shows up, Roxanne will be in trouble. So she's very clearly being specific about Julia and her. And then with Stephanie Vaquer, she said, the women's division will be in trouble, right? So I believe it's targeted here. I think it's purposeful and it's very structured. Roxanne, Julia, that is the match. And I don't think that they would have these 3 here talking about Stephanie if she's going to go after Roxanne right away, right? I think Julia's been saved for Roxanne because these 3 will be dealing with her more so than Roxanne, right? That's what I think. It just makes more sense from a storytelling perspective to have these 3 talking about Stephanie. If Roxanne was going to be coming after Stephanie, or Stephanie going after Roxanne rather, I think this scene would be structured so Roxanne will walk in and say, what are you guys talking about? What are you guys watching? Oh, forget about her. Screw Stephanie, blah, blah, blah. That's how I think this scene would be structured if Roxanne was going to be her next opponent, right? So I believe, again, like the original plan was, that's what everybody believes, that's what the reports were. Julia is coming in for Roxanne. That's the plan, not Stephanie. I don't know when Stephanie's going to come in. If she debuts, by debut, I mean if she just shows up on screen for the Great American Bash, you would think that she'll come in night 2. Because I believe the setup here is Lonnie Jordan will face Tatum Paxley on night 2 of the Great American Bash. And if that's the case, and you want her to challenge Lonnie, you have her show up on the night 2. If she shows up on night 1, you're telling the entire audience that she's going after Roxanne Perez, which would probably be a mistake if that's not what you're doing. If that's not what you're trying to do, then she should come in on night 2, not night 1. Again, this is all speculation. Anything can happen. I just believe that Stephanie will not be challenging Roxanne Perez because Stephanie's not losing, right? Based on this hype up, reading the tea leaves, she's going to come in as a force. So if she faces Roxanne, she has to win. And then what are you going to do? You're going to do Roxanne out of the picture with Julia and Stephanie going head to head right away? That doesn't ring true to me. I don't buy that. I think you're going to keep Stephanie and Julia separate and have Julia challenge Roxanne, ultimately leading to Lonnie Jordan, who called her name out the week prior. That makes sense? Yep, Julia will be a babyface. I think Stephanie should be a heel or a tweener. That's what I think. And she screams heel. She's been a heel her entire She was a heel in the Mercedes Moné program, which was weird because Mercedes is a natural heel, right? But she was a heel there. She's a heel when she faces Stardom talent against Azumi, against Julia. She was a heel. She's a heel. She's always been a heel. So bring her in as a heel. She'd be a badass heel that the fans like to root for, I'm sure. I'm sure the fans will like her, but she's a heel. Bring her in as a heel. That's what she is. And Julia will be the babyface of the company. Why bring in two baby faces like that? It doesn't make any sense. Like, let's put our booking hats on for a second. You got Roxanne already there, who's a heel. Got Julia, and you got Stephanie. Why bring them both in as a top baby face? Doesn't make any sense. You bring one as a heel, which will be Stephanie, I think, and bring in Julia as the baby face. Makes too much sense. How long does Stephanie and Julia stay in NXT? As long as they need them. Again, I believe NXT will be a third brand anyway on CW. I think Stephanie will get called up first. I know that sounds weird, but I think Stephanie will be called up first because I think the WWE want to go to Mexico or South America next year, and you want her to be on that card. So if that's the case, if they're going to go to Mexico, they're going to want Stephanie Vaquer on the card for marketing, and because she's so damn good. So I think Stephanie will be called up after Stand and Deliver in the draft, because I think they're going to South America, and she's so damn good. Why hold her down there? So I think Stephanie will get called up first, actually. And Julia might stay a little longer because they want her to be the face of NXT for a while. And then they'll transition to maybe Thea Hale being the face. That makes sense. Roxanne will get called up immediately after losing, I think. Yeah, there's different ways you can go. But yeah, I think Stephanie gets called up first because I think they're really wanting to do a South American or Mexican PLE next year. So Stephanie will be the face of that. I think. I'm speculating here. I don't know. I think. So yeah, what a time to be a wrestling fan, folks.
Keep up.